I'm Edie Lush, Executive Editor of Hub Culture. It's Davos 2025. It would not be Davos without my annual conversation with Lucian Tarnowski. How are you?
So good. So happy to be back for the 15th edition.
I know, exactly. We've got to keep talking. So you are now, you have been for a while, the founding curator of United Planet and the Up Game.
Yeah.
So I've been able to talk to you through all of your different incarnations, but I do follow what you're doing on a monthly basis. I get little updates from you. Super interesting. Tell us what's going on.
So really, it's a game to redesign our world. It's what Buckminster Fuller called the world game. Mm-hmm. And it's all based on the premise that time is one of the most useful tools we have to reimagine our world. And so what we do is we step outside of this moment in time, mm-hmm. and we step into a time where we've achieved our greatest ambitions, we've mm-hmm. achieved our dreams, we've achieved a planetary civilization. Mm-hmm. And that's done by each individual person that plays the Up Game coming in with their mission achieved, because mm-hmm. we bring incredible people, 48 people at a time. We call ourselves Gaians, mm-hmm. as in we're planetary citizens of Gaia, mm-hmm. here to upgrade our future. And what we do is we step into that future self relationship where mm-hmm. we've achieved our vision.
Like what? What are the visions that people come and tell you that they've achieved?
We've had now over 1,000 people participate mm-hmm. from over 100 countries. So as you can imagine, it's right across the board. It's every different point of systems change you can imagine, from future of health and well-being to mm-hmm. food systems and regenerative agriculture to mm-hmm. how we unleashed our potential, to how we are in right relationship with the natural world, mm-hmm. how we are connected to each other and to our kind of common unity. It's mm-hmm. rethinking our connection to community, to regenerative living, to how we achieve planetary peace, to mm-hmm. how we created a new planetary language, to how we redesigned money to come from our collective intelligence, how we can program money with AI, with our collective augmented intelligence mm-hmm. to have particular goals, particular missions that we can achieve. So it's really across the board, and we've completed 26 Up Games. We're about mm-hmm. to kick off the 27th here in Davos. It's called Gaian Civilization. Mm-hmm. And each game, one produces an amazing transformational experience for everybody that participates. Mm-hmm. Two, it produces a documentary for a TV series that we're making. So we've shot 26 so far. Mm-hmm. But three, what it does is it spend 6 days mapping this collective vision of the future, like the horizon that mm-hmm. we can imagine, the more beautiful world our hearts know is possible. And in doing so, we train a Gaian AI. We're the first in the world to train AI from the future. Okay. And we take all of the transcripts of all of the immersions and visions and interviews that we take over the 6 days. So we've got thousands of hours now mm-hmm. of content that we're training AI from the future to go and say, how can we design this world using our collective intelligence? Mm. And then how can we layer on natural intelligence? So how can we layer on the intelligence from other species is a question we're asking for the future. Mm-hmm. Because you know that we're now very close to decoding language of the whales, for example, and the whales. And so what we're interested in is taking the collective intelligence of Gaia, of all Gaian species, all the different living species of Earth, and saying, how can we utilize that collective intelligence in reimagining our world?
So what are some of the insights that you're getting? What are the things that we should be doing now that the AI is telling you?
So, the reality is the future is so much more simple than the present. We've really made our world way more complicated than it needs to be. And there's, just look at the ingredients on food as an example. It's kind of like a micro, we often say we are what we eat, right? And if you look at processed food, look at the complexity of the ingredients in that food. The future is so much more simple. It's about being local. It's about having a direct relationship with your food, with your farmers that provide that food. And that's just like a micro to the macro of the whole story. Right. It's about being in right relationship with the natural world, with each other, with oneself. And so a big part of the game is to connect into this ancient idea that the Greeks had of know thyself. One of the best ways to know thyself is to step outside of the biggest box of all, which is the box of time. You know, that we often don't realize how this moment in time limits our imagination and holds us back from dreaming more audaciously, dreaming bigger dreams, and dreaming a future that isn't based on what we're currently doing now, but is based on one that is about all life flourishing, all life reaching our fullest potential.
Dream new dreams, that's the theme of hub culture here in Davos. I mean, one aspect of current life is that we feel we've moved away from religion. You know, if you look at the number of people going to church, it's come way down. It isn't the sort of community building place that it used to be. Our great founder, Stan Stolniker, wrote an article about could there be AI-based religions? I know as somebody who's studied comparative religions, I wonder if you have an idea on this, because it wasn't something that had occurred to me to think about, and I couldn't decide if it was scary or not.
I mean, there is definitely scary parts on the internet.
Right.
Goatsy. There's some really scary aspects that have been kind of taken with humor, but they're really shaping culture. And you know, where our attention goes, our energy flows. And if you look where we're collectively putting our attention, is actually where society is being driven towards. And if you think, I actually wrote my dissertation, it's called Selling Religion, Analysis of Capitalism as a Religion.
Okay.
Which is a very interesting analysis. It turns out that capitalism was directly birthed by Protestant Christianity.
Wow.
And therefore it fits into the definition of religion far better than many in the Eastern traditions. Right. So absolutely we're seeing this unique moment because AI is transforming our relationship to each other, to the natural world. Now that can go really, really bad on one side, or it can go really, really good. Now we're at this unique moment in time where we actually have the choice, not we as individuals, but we collectively. So I like to say we are the choosing ones, not the chosen ones, but the choosing ones. And we have a choice to design as, if you like, the creators of AI, to design AI for our own collective benefit. Because if we take the patterns of this extractive, finite game that we're currently playing, it's a win-lose game where when you add on exponential technology, it becomes a lose-lose game. So there's a very dangerous dark side that a lot of people, you know, more than half the world's population are scared about, and rightfully so. But at the same time, there's this enormous opportunity that's there. And so that's why it's, I think, the most interesting time to be alive right now, and to actually have sovereign choice on what kind of future we want to create. You know, don't be a victim to the future, be a creator of it. You know, let's go out there and achieve the future.
Don't be swept by the tides of somebody else's ideas, right? Okay, thank you so much, Lucian, for stopping by
pleasure.
for our annual, what is it? It's a sort of dive into the time capsule.
It's a time capsule of life, and I'm just so grateful to you for being a fellow storyteller of a life journey.
There you go.
Thank you, Edie.
All right, thank you, Lucian. I'm Edie Lash, executive editor of Hub Culture. This has been another episode of Lucian Tarnowski's Life here in Davos 2025.